Okay, smart money tracking on an altcoin, Casper. Let's have a look what's going on with Casper then. And is it going to continue the downtrend, or if is it finally going to have an uptrend? Okay, so Casper from the last cycle that we had, or the last bull cycle, obviously what Bitcoin done, we distributed the highs. Now the thing that's different about Casper is this is also a model 2 distribution, right? And you had a failed accumulation here, which, it doesn't matter too much where we are now, but that's just kind of what's already happened. Now, we're not really leaving liquidity, maybe on the higher time frame, but that doesn't matter too much in the grand scale of things. But let's go to the local range. It's actually what matters based on what price is going to do. Now, now, potentially, we are accumulating here. However, we do have to keep in mind that we do normally sweep big capitulation wicks. Let's make this smaller. We do normally sweep these huge capitulation wicks. So it wouldn't shock me for this to be a not valid accumulation. How would you know when it's not a valid accumulation? Well, let's draw your range tool to the low to the high. That was a deviation. That was a deviation. So you can still deviate. You can still deviate this low, as long as you don't close below the 125%, I'd say on the daily time frame or the 4-hour time frame at the lowest point. So as long as you don't, let's leave that there, as long as you don't deviate or go below and break the range below, then you're fine. So at the moment, you can absolutely, right, consider this as a model 1 accumulation, or potentially a deeper model, a deeper third tap, which goes slightly lower than the low. So now that would be a very good thing, because you are leaving liquidity to the upside, right? This is just pure liquidity. So that's really good in terms of, can we get a pump? And this is also semi-equals. Not exactly semi-equals, but they're high time frame targets, right? In case you do pop up to range high. So that makes sense. That's a good idea if we do get a bullish sign down here, if we do get some good structure. Now, there is one problem, and that problem is, now as much as I don't really want to talk about Bitcoin because it is an altcoin video, we can't ignore the importance of it. Bitcoin's in a bear market, and it is August. And August is normally a bearish month. Now, don't get me wrong, if you watch my Bitcoin videos, you would know that I'm bullish short-term August, potentially July's high. You can figure out by watching those videos. However, if Bitcoin was to have its drop in August down to July's lows, June's lows, well, Casper probably wouldn't hold this range as a whole, and it'd probably come lower one more time, two more times. And if I do have a short target or a potential long zone for you guys, it'd be this inducement order block. This is really good, and this is potentially where you can get really good PO3 of some kind, because currently we're just ranging for a really long time. Now these normally are very explosive moves, so if we're talking about an altcoin potentially bouncing, then that's the type of sign you'd see. PO3s are very explosive on even Bitcoin, right? Especially Bitcoin. But when you put it to altcoins, that's where you get crazy moves, okay? So if we do start coming down to the 0.02% mark, dollar mark, and we break below our previous range, and we start accumulating and up to October time, that is gonna be a very explosive rally. PO3s are amazing because they leave liquidity, they stop out the shorts, you trap the longs because you keep taking the low, no one's long anymore, and then you blast up and smart money leaves it behind. So at the moment while we have an accumulation, there is a very good possibility, because of how Bitcoin looks, that we're potentially going to come to this zone and then have our big PO3 explosive move. And that's when Casper could see some potential reviving. But again, you have to react to what price gives you. If price doesn't give you that, then you have to reevaluate. Okay? But apart from that, we're not really redistributing at any point, apart from this last previous range. But this range as a whole, we're not distributing. That's a good sign, because if we're leaving liquidity for later, and the bull market's just a couple months around the corner, this is an incredible sign that we're potentially going to have a PO3 or an explosive move up when Bitcoin finally finds a bottom. And we have a good zone for it. Look at how amazing the zone is. Okay, this technically got hit. I just realized that, but I think on the weekly. Is this a zone on the weekly? No, however, we do have this. That's still induced order block. Look at that. Okay, brilliant. You can use this zone then. 0.18. Okay, if we get a new range and we come down to that, that's still valid. That's still a valid zone, just not from where I marked it originally. We are currently in this, but again, this holding completely relies on how this reacts when Bitcoin has its move back down, and if we can hold this range for an accumulation. If we can hold this, then you're probably going to start, potentially coming up to the range highs, or at least like some of these highs. Before then, you have to reconsider everything based on the structure it gives you. But apart from that high time frame, there's nothing objective yet, but soon that could be. If you get structure down here, absolutely long it, de-risk once you're in big profit or in good profit. If not, you have this zone right down here when Bitcoin does a little move down. Absolutely. If we get an accumulation, that'd be brilliant. I think that's the only thing we really have for Casper. There's nothing really else to it. So yeah, consider subscribing. You get daily updates on Bitcoin. And not only that, I haven't been wrong on Bitcoin yet. I'm going to show you right here. I have not been wrong on Bitcoin. Since starting this channel, I've called the bottom, the top, the bottom, the top, the bottom, but overall bearish, the bottom, but overall, or the continuation, but overall bearish, which led to catching the top. I drew it out exactly how it looks. Then I can call the continuation, the bottom, the continuation, which I didn't get the top spot on entry, but I'll still write about the high time frame idea. Then I called locally bearish potentially if you deviate. Then I called indecision, that you're probably going to take lows and highs and mess around with everyone, which I was right. You took lows and highs, you messed everyone around. And now I called the continuation on Bitcoin to come to July's highs. If you want to figure out why, you can go watch my last Bitcoin video. Anyway, consider subscribing. Keep trading.